Hi, and welcome back to the Listening Window. Today's story is called The Stranger Who Lived Upstairs. This is an English listening and speaking practice story written in clear, everyday English with natural phrases. It's perfect for improving your vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. As always, you can download the full script, vocabulary list, quiz, answer key, and a special writing prompt through the link in the description. Let's begin. I never thought I'd become friends with a stranger I feared. But life has a way of surprising you, especially when you least expect it. It started when I moved into a small apartment in the city last spring. I had just broken up with my longtime boyfriend, and I needed a fresh start. The apartment was old but cozy. One bedroom, a tiny kitchen, and wooden floors that creaked whenever you walked too fast. The building was quiet, too quiet sometimes. Except for the occasional footsteps above me, the woman who lived upstairs never came out. I asked the landlord about her once. She's quiet, keeps to herself. Don't worry about her, he said, waving his hand like it was no big deal, but I did worry. Every night at exactly 2 a.m., I heard the same sound. 3 slow steps, then a pause, then a thud. I tried telling myself it was just old pipes. Or maybe she worked late and got home at odd hours. But the sound was too regular, too human. One night, I couldn't sleep. I got up, walked around the living room, made some tea. Then I heard it again. Step, 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 thud. This time, I went to the window and looked up. Her window was open. The light was on. A shadow moved across the curtain, and my heart started racing. I wasn't usually the paranoid type, but something felt off. And yet I did nothing. I went back to bed, pulled the covers over my head, and forced myself to sleep. A week later, I finally saw her. I was taking out the trash when I heard the front door open. She came down the stairs slowly, holding a small potted plant. Her hair was messy, and she wore an oversized sweater that looked like it hadn't been washed in weeks. She looked tired. No, exhausted. I smiled politely. Hi. She looked up, startled. Oh, hi. Her voice was soft, almost like a whisper. I'm new here, I said. I live in 2B. She nodded. I'm in 3A. We stood there for a moment in silence. That's a nice plant, I said awkwardly. She glanced at it. It was my mother's. And just like that, she walked past me and out the door. That was the first of many small encounters. Each time, she said a little more. I learned her name was Lydia, that she used to be a teacher, that her mother had passed away 2 months ago. The footsteps at 2 a.m. didn't stop. But now, they felt different. Less creepy. More sad. One day, I brought her cookies. I stood at her door with the box in my hands, wondering if I should knock. I did. No answered. I turned to leave, but then the door creaked open. Lydia stood there, eyes red, like she'd been crying. I brought you something, I said, holding out the cookies. She took them silently, nodded, and closed the door. But the next day, I found a small thank you note slipped under mine. That's how it began. We slowly became friends. Not best friends, not even close friends, but someone to talk to, someone to listen. Then one night, it all changed. I was coming home late from work. As I walked into the building, I heard a scream, a short, sharp scream from upstairs. I dropped my bag and ran. Lydia's door was open. Inside, the apartment was a mess, papers everywhere, books torn off shelves. Lydia sat in the middle of the floor, shaking. "What happened?" I asked, running to her. She looked up at me, her eyes wild. "He's back." "Who?" "My brother." I had never heard her mention a brother. "He was in jail," she said. "He hurt our mom. That's why I moved here. That's why I stay quiet. But he's out. And I think he found me." I didn't know what to do. I helped her clean up, called the police, and stayed with her until morning. She filed a report, and the building manager changed her locks. The next few days were tense. Every sound felt louder. Every knock on the door made my heart jump, but no one came. A week passed. Then Lydia disappeared. I knocked on her door. No answer. I asked the landlord. He said she had moved out overnight. Left a note and the keys. I was heartbroken. I felt like I had lost a friend I barely got to know. But the twist? Last week, I got a postcard. No return address. Just one line. "Thank you for not treating me like I was invisible." Sometimes the people who scare us the most are just the ones hurting the deepest. Thank you for listening to The Stranger Who Lived Upstairs, only on the listening window. If you'd like to practice more, you can download the full script, vocabulary list, quiz, and a special writing prompt through the link in the description. Don't forget to comment your own ending to this story. What do you think happened to Lydia? See you in the next story.